Good afternoon and welcome to the AIS in Canberra. It's Women's National Premier League Round 7. It's the home of Gungahlin United FC for this season. They're facing Monaro Panthers. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator, and joining me as he did on Wednesday at a slightly colder Deakin Stadium is Maddie Moore. Matt, it's actually a quite nice afternoon here in Canberra.
Yeah, afternoon, Russ. Yeah, it's a beautiful afternoon here in Canberra. Nice temperature, as you mentioned, far more pleasant than the chilly conditions on Wednesday night, and a perfect day for football on a great surface, and you couldn't ask for much more if you were a player today.
Well, if we get a game that's half as good as Wednesday, we'll be very, very happy, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Wednesday was a cracker, and with these two teams here with a lot on the line to play for, hopefully we can expect more of the same today.
Well, it's a chance for Gungahlin United, if they win today, to go second on the table, 4 points clear of Canberra FC, because if people watching haven't heard, Canberra FC deducted 3 points in the week for a bit of a schoolboy error really in the first game, fielding too many substitutes, bringing on 5 when they should have only used 3, and I'm sure Tuggeranong United aren't liking that decision because they might feel the backlash down at Greenway this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably a bit of a double whammy week for Canberra FC, knocked out of the Federation Cup and deducted 3 points, but great opportunity for Gungahlin to jump in a second place, and it really makes the interesting race in that top 4 with the points being added to Woden Western, and you could probably say the top 5 now is far tighter than we would have certainly is far tighter than we expected 3 days ago.
Well, let's take a look at the two teams, starting with Diego Iglesias. This is Gungahlin United, a 4-1-2-3 for them. Kaylee Tonini in goal, Alex Patterson, Maddie Percival, Maya Ratowski and Brigitte Sander across the back. Stella DeMarco as a holding midfielder, Nat DeMarco and Rachel Corbett in front of her. The front three, Erica Pennyfield, Elka Atulu and Ella Brown. Yeah,
strong lineup there. Good addition for Gungahlin United with Nat DeMarco there, back from the US on a summer break to spend winter in Canberra, and a strong midfield 3, and something to watch with Ella Brown out on the left-hand side there, who's been in really good form for the start of the season.
Panthers make a couple of changes from the team. We saw beat Wagga City Wanderers in their last outing 3-1 at the Riverside. New goalkeeper in Jelena Josipovic today, because Leanna Hall is down in Melbourne doing some wedding day shopping. Not heard of that one before, have you?
No, not one that I've come across in my coaching time, where somebody's asked for the weekend off to do their wedding shopping, but
got to get it done.
Well, that's true. If you don't, you're in trouble. And best of luck to her. I hope she finds what she's looking for.
Absolutely. So Jelena Josipovic, the reserve grade goalkeeper, gets a chance for the Panthers in goal. In front of them, it's the same formation as what Gungahlin United have. Back four of Zoe Miller, Caitlin Joy, Thembi Crompton and Charlotte Grandy. Alicia Moiranen in the holding midfield role, Sophia Furlaneto and Chris Yapo. And in front three, Elizabeth Edwards, Alyssa Bozanovska flanking Kelly Sturton.
Yeah, interesting lineup there from Monaro. Nice to see that Chris Yipau has dropped into the midfield there. She's somebody who's been quite a threat up high, but I think getting her on the ball today will be a really big advantage for Monaro, and interesting to see what they can create from there.
Anton Churchyard is the man in the middle, Darren Gledhill and Eamon White on the line. Both these sides, of course, looking to follow in the footsteps of Belconnen United, who won again yesterday. Another 12-0 victory for them. 5 goals for Kira Bobbin as well. So she followed up her goal in the Federation Cup with another handful yesterday, and they look unstoppable at the moment, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly do. They look like it does at the moment. Look like it might be another situation where they start to run away with the competition. Everybody's playing catch-up, so the important places for 2, 3 and 4 become more and more vital.
I think the coach of Belconnen United, Antti Jagarinch, is a Liverpool fan, so I think I'll describe them as the Manchester City of the Women's Premier League. That'll please him, I'm sure. Cue my phone going mental. Gungahlin get us underway, attacking the goal to our right here at the AIS, and it's the first time I've got to see them this season, so looking forward to seeing what Diego Iglesias has got to offer with his team. 4 wins, having lost 1 game to Belconnen United this season. Early touch at the back for Patterson. DeMarco finds Pennyfield. DeMarco once more. Good early football from those in black and white. That's a thumping challenge from Crompton. And it should be easy enough at the back for Ratowski to cover. And a first touch of the afternoon for Tonini. Can close down very quickly. And perhaps a chance for the Panthers with Yapo. Grandy coming forward from fullback. Past the first challenge. Goes into it with Pennyfield, and Pennyfield comes away as the winner. Where are we expecting this match to be won and lost today, Matt?
I think the key will be that Monaro back 4 today. If they can control that front 3 of Gungahlin and really reduce the effectiveness of people like Ella Brown and Elka Atulu, that will make a massive, massive difference there. And then leading from there, it'll be interesting to see how the two DeMarcos in the middle combine from Gungahlin, because that's where they'll see their biggest threat and their biggest opportunity to break players down.
Throw down the line from Grandy. Easily picked off. Second chance for her to perhaps get something into the penalty area, but not on this occasion. First goal, obviously, going to be critical again this afternoon. Tulu loses out to Morinen, who tries to force it through to Kelly Sturton, wearing number 171 on the back of that shirt. It's the highest number I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the more unique numbers, and hopefully brings a lot of success. Maybe that's the goal target for the season.
Chance for Brown, who's charged down the attempted clearance from Joy. Here's Tembi Compton. She gets rid of it. First chance to see the pace of Brown. Giving the ball away, and here's Corbett in midfield. Opportunity for the Gunners. Perhaps a shooting chance for DeMarco. Comes wide to Pettyfield. Not DeMarco again. Just to force it through, and an opportunity for Corbett. Back towards DeMarco again. Might come for Pennyfield. Holds off the mark. A real chance here on the far post is Brown, and there's the first goal of the afternoon. Turned in from an acute angle from Ella Brown. Good approach work from DeMarco and Pennyfield, and a decent finish on the far post.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice little combination play there from Gungahlin United. You could see there that they pushed the midfielder higher in Corbett, that allowed to occupy the two centre-backs, and the little layoff in there to Nat DeMarco for the through ball for Pennyfield, who could have easily given up there, but made a big effort to cut back, and Ella Rose Brown, the person that we identified as a threat earlier on, finishing it in to just continue to add to her tally. And not the start Monaro would have been looking for today.
Fourth goal of the season for Ella Brown. Perfect start for Diego Iglesias' team. Needed some finishing, didn't it, Matt, from that angle?
Yeah, absolutely. Very tight finish there. Probably looks easier than it is. People at home probably think that that's just something that you just tap in, but we've seen many an opportunity there missed, given the tight angle, but calmly finished.
Questions asked of the Panthers. Here's Yapo. They went 1-0 down early to Wagga City a couple of weeks ago and came back to get a result, so they won't be too worried so far. It's Percival striding forward. She's going to get another touch here, the defender. She stayed up front, and just Brown to run down the wing, taking on Miller, but it's not going to stay in play. Probably just the start that Gunners wanted to push them towards that second place on the ladder.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd settle a few nerves there. Identifying that second spot as something that you want, so you can get that double chance, and that will probably allow them to settle. And the good thing for Monaro, though, is that Gungahlin has scored early, and you've got plenty of time to get that back.
Here's Yapo looking to do just that. Morinen's touch. Filanetto can't get there, and it's DeMarco's touch forward, looking to find Atulu, and Filanetto tries an ambitious effort from wide. Gungahlin United this season started off by beating Tuggeranong 6-0, then fell to Balconnen. They're surprisingly not at their best in the Federation Cup quarter-final, lost to Woden 4-0, but reversed that in the league to win 4-3, then beat Campbell Olympic 3-0 and Wagga City 4-0 to really put themselves as the best of the rest, if you like. We'll come back to that point in just a second as Pennyfield's broken the offside trap here. She's got Brown inside the 6-yard box if she can pick her out. And the Panthers defender concede the corner. My point being there, Matt, is that next week they played Canberra United Academy, and a week later they played Canberra FC, so real chance for them to state their intentions. Yeah,
absolutely. You look at the next 3 weeks of football for them, and you'd be aiming for at least 2 out of 3 wins there, and that makes a world of difference and really shapes you and your season.
Pennyfield goes short, gets it back. Good ball in, Compton with a header. Sliced clear by Morinen, but it's good enough. It's got rid of it. Yeah, those matches against the Academy and Canberra FC will really show Diego Iglesias where his team stands, and if they can get some points from those games, you'd think they're well on their way to proving a threat to Balconnen United's dominance. Jostopovich with the clearance. Here's Pennyfield, finds Patterson. Touch from Corbett, finds Pennyfield again. And at the moment, Gungahlin United dictating the play.
Yeah, absolutely. danger signs for Monaro too. They've conceded 1 goal at the back post, and they seem quite happy to leave the widest player unattended, which is fine from a zonal point of view, but their widest defender is getting sucked very centrally, which means they've got no idea where the defender is, which is going to create problems the longer that goes on.
Patterson chips it towards the area. Compton with a header again. Cleared this time by Miller. Brown on this near side. Brings Patterson into play. Chance for her to load something into the penalty. A good ball too, and the keeper's not got enough on that. It might fall for Corbett. Shooting chance here for Rachel Corbett, and she didn't get anything behind it. Fortunately for the Panthers and unfortunately for the Gunners. Yeah,
dodged a bit of a bullet there, Monaro. Tricky one for the keeper. One of those ones that bounces just in front of you. And not a great clearance, and lucky for them, Corbett wasn't able to latch on.
They've been caught in possession again here, and it's gifted the ball back to Gungahlin. Here's Patterson once more. Compton comes over. She's been very impressive in the games I've seen her play this year, the centre-back. Difficult to get past. Morinen thunders into the challenge. There's Nat DeMarco. Nice little 1-2 football this is from Nat DeMarco, and that's a lovely ball to get in. Atulu just stood up on it for a moment. Back to Corbett, and she tries her luck with a little chip from distance, and you can see exactly what Nat DeMarco brings to his team. That little one-touch football, great technique and possession.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody who developed their game highly in futsal and came through areas like the old ACT Academy of Sport. Really intelligent footballer as well, not just great technique, but really smart, can identify a good run and identify the runs of others. So she'll be a handful for the length of time that she's here, and will have a huge impact on not just Gungahlin United, but the competition itself, I think.
Possibly need to get as tight as they can to her. It's a good goal kick to find Alyssa Bozanovska. She's seen off by Ratalski. McClellan only finds Yapo from that deeper role which Matt was talking about. Here is Yapo looking to take on Ratalski, who stands firm. Good challenge. Good battle that. And Ratalski comes out on top. Going to fall for Morinen. Looking to squeeze the ball through. Filanetta keeps it in play. Hooks it towards Sturton in the penalty area, and Percival waits for Tanini to come and collect, but that was better from the Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't panic there. Would have been very easy to just kick the ball away. They'll just have to be a little bit careful in the middle of the park there. Their whole central three is shifting to one side, so when they get that ball and they look for that inlet ball through the centre, there's no one there. So they'll either need to fix that or push a defender into that little hole.
Atulu with a lovely turn, and she's brought Brown into play here, and Brown will take on Grandy for pace. Fires a shot in at goal, and the keeper, Josipovic, just a little bit nervous here, having been called into the team today.
Yeah, a little bit of a last-minute thing. You probably don't expect to play back-to-back games, but again, nice little turn from Atulu, who's one of the more technically gifted players that we've got running around the league, and she's still young. Found Rose Brown there early. Would have liked to seen her drive forward a little bit more. Maybe ask a couple more questions, get a little bit closer to goal.
Good body strength from Sturton to step away from her marker, and she's got 3 runners ahead of her. Callie Sturton looks to slide it down the line for Bozanovska. Tries to get to the byline to force the corner and gets one as well, and that's what Kelly Sturton brings to the party. Strength and some good distribution as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She did really well there, calm under pressure. Gungahlin will have to be careful. They sat right off her there, and one of those players, if you're going to give her too much time and let her run too far, you might be picking the ball out of the back of the net before you know it. But some real positive signs for Monaro. They're really starting to develop into the game.
Morinen goes across to take the corner. Plenty of options in the penalty area, of course. Swung in towards the keeper, and Tanini gets there. Elizabeth Edwards was lurking. She scored 3 goals this season, including 2 in a minute against Wagga last week. Here comes Brown. Compton's there once more. Did well, the defender again, and brings Grandy into play. Chance to stretch her legs. Ball in field is picked off by Stella DeMarco. Here's Brown again. Atulu's made the run, and that's been well read by Caitlin Joy, who steps over, and she scored a cracking free kick a couple of weeks or last weekend. DeMarco looks to find Brown. Grandy. Gungahlin happy to keep ball. Corbett spreads it wide. Looks to bring Sander into play as an attacking force. Miller took it off her toe. Want to spread the play, the Gunners.
Yeah, nice period of control here for them. Not rushing, you can see them just looking for the opportunity to break them down.
This might be it. Good piece of defending from Edwards, who's gone all the way back to help out. Turnover possession again, though, and they need to keep the ball better than that. Here's Stella DeMarco. Gets it back again. Corbett. Stella DeMarco once more. This is good in terms of build-up. In towards Nat DeMarco, who gets away from Compton, who's somehow on the floor, manages to get the tackle in. Great piece of central defensive play from the big defender.
Yeah, Compton again coming to the fore. That's probably the third time now where she's done what's been needed. She's been called upon, and her and Joy forming quite a strong combination there, and it looks like they'll be vitally important.
Here's a chance again, but this time Corbett overcooks the egg and puts her hand up to apologise.
Yeah, just got the angles wrong a little bit there. Pennyford was coming over on the overlap, and you could see the intent, but just again a little bit of sloppy distribution.
It's going to come straight back at them again, with DeMarco looking for Brown to get away from Grandy, player whose goal opened proceedings. Looking to take on Grandy, does well to get that into the box, but Moranen was there in a defensive capacity. Happy to step away. Turnover possession again, and someone in a green and black shirt probably needs to keep ball for just a moment or two. Patterson. Stella DeMarco. Runners ahead of her. Tulu's one of them. She's broken the offside trap here, has she? But the flag goes up. Good piece of defending from Temby Compton, though, once more, despite the flag going up anyway.
Yeah, she had that well covered. Nice little movement there. Just again goes to show that the two DeMarcos in the middle of the park there, if you give them too much room to play, especially somebody like a Tulu playing up the front who's got pace, got great technique, and can hit a ball from just about anywhere, you're playing a dangerous game. But I think you touched on the key point earlier there, Ross. Somebody from Monaro has got to get their foot on the ball there. They're in a hurry to go forward, but aren't picking those opportunities. Maybe it's time to just keep possession, get a feel for the ball, and work your way back into the game.
Chance perhaps for Sturton to close down Tonini. Good clearance from the keeper. Brown couldn't get it under control. Bozanovska. Grandy was there too. Good solid tackle by Corbett, who was claiming the free kick. Bozanovska swings it in. It's a little bit scrappy just in front of us here in the commentary position. It's a bit better from Gungahlin. Here's Corbett. Atulu, who plays very well with back to goal, and she's found Brown again. Fulanetto's the one chasing back. Better play again. Gungahlin had the wood on Monaro all three meetings last season, Matt, but there wasn't much in it. 2-1 in round 1, 1-0 in round 10, and 3-1 in round 15. A hat-trick on that day for Mel Bunker, who's now playing for Canberra FC, of course. Here they come again, and a chance for the ball to be slipped through towards Atulu.
Again, just that last pass a little bit short, or angled just a little bit wrong. That's probably 3 or 4 good shooting opportunities or goal-creating opportunities that Gungahlin haven't quite been able to take advantage of. But
they're really monopolising the possession, you have to say. Here they come again, strike from distance from Atulu. This time it's dipping, and it wasn't too far away as well. Good effort from the striker, who shows she can play front on to goal as well as with her back to goal.
Yeah, warning signs early. We mentioned earlier that she can hit a ball from anywhere, and she's not afraid to take the shot there. Probably didn't get it as cleanly as she would have liked, but warning shot number 1, and now to Monaro try something different. They've gone long the whole time, and Gungahlin haven't really looked to press. I mean, they haven't needed to yet, but maybe you need to just invite them in and break them down in a different manner.
Head on that at the back. Cleared nicely by Corbett, the midfielder. Looking at the two benches today, Gungahlin have Freya Jacobson, Ruby Gambale, Jade Brown and Sophie Spice. Only 2 on the bench for the Panthers, Gabby Markulin and Shay Gervin. Down on numbers a little bit. As you mentioned, the goalkeeper played a full part in the 2-2 draw, I think it finished, in the under-20s, reserve grade? Reserve grade in the women's. So she would have got an eye in, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Sends that forward nicely. Decent kick too. Sturton wins the header. Corbett, who seems to be all over the park at the moment, is Stella DeMarco. Atulu comes short again. Brown. Matt DeMarco. Brown again. Nice build up this from Gungahlin. Is there an end product? Brown chips it in towards goal. It's goal over the goalkeeper and dropped into the net. Second of the day for Ella Brown. Probably not what she expected, but it's dropped in and it's a double Gungahlin's advantage.
Yeah, the classic scross there. Half shot, half cross, but great build up again there from Gungahlin. Okratulu playing a big role in there, linking with Nat DeMarco and some nice little short, sharp passing. That was able to break them down. They're really exposing this right-hand side at the moment where Ella Brown is playing. She started on the left and she switched over and to great success.
One from the left, one from the right for Ella Brown.
Time to go in the middle.
Two for the Gunners. They're in complete control of this at the moment. Morinen tries her luck from a long way out. Having a pop, not a bad option. And she's got it in her locker, the left footer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've seen it before in a game I was at previously this year against the Canberra United Academy. She was lucky not to get a couple, hit the crossbar and the post a few times there, and she's certainly a threat. And for Monaro now, the key is relax. It's okay. There's still plenty of time. Work your way into it. Can you now start to lock Gungahlin in and keep possession down the other end?
Fuller Neto meets the goal kick. Her touch though only finds Nat DeMarco, who's running the show at the moment. Brown was on her bike, but she comes short to this near side to find Patterson. Atulu, nice little back heel towards Patterson. But there was Morinen. And that's a good ball forward and a chance for Bozanovska to perhaps keep this in if she can. She does do so. Ratalski comes across. And that is a superb piece of defending from Maya Ratalski. Just to see it off Bozanovska. Gets the goal kick.
Yeah, great work there by Ratalski. Very easy to dive in there, but she hasn't played at the ball and allowed it to run out, and Gungahlin away again.
Tulu looks for Brown. And the combinations between this front 4 or 5 is excellent to watch, isn't it? And the way Elka Atulu comes deep to pick the ball up and just plays it around the corner using the pace of Brown on one side and Pettyfield on the other. It's causing all sorts of problems.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's very simple too. It's nothing overly elaborate. It's just some good ball speed and, as you mentioned, some good movement by the players. And as Atulu drops out, those centre-backs aren't sure whether to come or whether to go, and sooner or later they're going to get caught out. She sent one warning shot, and problem is when they do come out, they get Ella Brown in behind.
She played in the pocket of space in between the centre-back, the defenders and the midfield really well, Atulu at the moment.
Almost as that false 9.
Good movement from the forward. That was her then, bringing Corbin into play. Matt DeMarco turns, gets it back from Stella DeMarco, and black and white shirts flooding forward. Brown taking on Grandy. DeMarco once more. Atulu playing deep. A lot of interchange from Gungahlin. Here's Percival. Doesn't mind stepping out of defence either. Corbett. Pennyfield. Good patient build-up. Pennyfield once more. Sander on the overlap. Still kept possession with Corbett. Bit of space for Stella DeMarco, and they've turned that one over, and a chance perhaps for the Panthers to break. Bozanovska's a willing runner. Saw her playing at fullback last week and further forward this week. But it was a good period of play again from Gungahlin, not trying to rush things, just knocking the ball around and trusting each other and the process.
Yeah, absolutely. They're nice control showing, and I guess the question for Monaro starts to be, where do they want to win the ball and when? Here's
Patterson. Compton comes across, and been a defensive colossus really for considering that they're 2-0 down. She's done very, very well so far, and there she is again blocking the run. A little nudge off the ball there from Brown. No foul, says the referee. And it's allowed Brown to move into a dangerous position with the Tulu. Ball into the penalty area, and chance here for the shot on the turn from Sander. The fullback had gone into the centre forward position. And that all stemmed from that shoulder to shoulder with Brown and Compton wanted the free kick.
Yeah, it was well done by Brown. She certainly put a little bit of hit on one of those 50-50 challenges, but you know what I mentioned before, when and where do Monaro want to win the ball. So the question is, where do they want Gungahlin to play that gives them the best chance to win the ball? And at the moment, they look like they're more waiting for Gungahlin to make the mistake as opposed to forcing him into an area where they can win the ball and they can take advantage on their own terms.
Well, it's just an opportunity for them to keep a bit of possession. Caitlin Joy has it. Compton will set up awkwardly on her for a moment. And she's disappointed with herself as well. Has a better touch than that normally.
Yeah, absolutely. First real mishap from there, and in that sort of area of the field, it compounds it, and the more it happens.
Puts her hand in the air to apologise to her teammates. Here's Corbett. Huge amount of room for DeMarco on the edge of the box, and Compton blocks it again. Chance for DeMarco once more, and that's taken a wicked deflection and will go right for a goal kick. I think it came off of Rachel Corbett, who'd run in front. But Nat DeMarco's got acres of space, and they need to close it down, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about touch-light defending, or at least being in a position to guide and identify where you want the player to go. And at the moment, Nat DeMarco and Elka Atula are probably the two that pretty much have the run of the game, and they can go where they want and do as they please. And the longer that continues, I think the bigger this scoreline's going to grow.
Unless Tembi Compton continues her one-person defensive display. Needs a bit of help from those around her, though. Here's Patterson. Nat DeMarco from deep. Looking for options ahead. Picks out Corbett. Patterson. To chip that one in. Came off the back of Morinin. And it's up to Grandy to try and clear. But Atulu is closing her in, and that's well done from the fullback. Goes early down the line, but Patterson's got in front. As does Ratowski. Patterson again. Ratowski to Brown, whose 2 goals are the difference. Live on Bar TV Sports, free kick to the Panthers. You're watching Women's National Premier League Round 7 action. Third of 4 games, or 3 games this weekend. The fourth a little bit later on. Tuggeranong versus Canberra FC, 3 o'clock kickoff for that one. There's men's NPL action this afternoon as well. Canberra Olympic versus Belconnen United. Big game over at O'Connor Enclosed. That's from 3 o'clock too. Joy hammers that in towards the penalty area. It's not been dealt with properly by Percival. Might fall for Edwards. It's a better bit of defending. Got a break for Brown. And there's a little triangle to get out of trouble, and Percival brings it forward. Atulu looked for a runner outside. Seemed shocked when she didn't see one. She's like, where are you, Brown?
Yeah, that's right. First time in a while she hasn't had that immediate support, but probably a little bit different to Monaro there. You saw Atulu looking around, looking for support, and waited. Didn't panic, didn't release, just waited knowing that it would come. And something that might be, that little bit of trust might be missing from the Monaro side with this start.
They have got 3 points this season. Like we said, they beat Wagga City 3-1. They were pretty competitive and disappointed to lose to Tuggeranong 3-2. They only lost 4-0 to the Academy with a couple of late goals there as well. So they are a competitive outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was at the Academy game there. I was fortunate enough to call that, and they were certainly better than that 4-0 result, and certainly deserved one, if not 2 goals in that game. So they've certainly shown that they've got the ability to compete, which is hopefully something that Gungahlin have got in the back of their mind.
Compton up towards Bozanovska. Patterson got there first, and we'll go back to Tanini. Thought she may have left that short just for a moment. Morinen picks up the loose ball, then turns over possession again. Now Felinetto's chance to send it forwards. Easily picked off by Corbett. And a chance for the Gunners to get their forward ranks in motion with Sander. Nat DeMarco. Here's another run from Stella DeMarco. She's lined one up from distance, and once more, as she has been for most of the afternoon, Tembi Compton's the one in the way.
Yeah, well done by Compton there, but again, just really simple, easy execution of play and passing there from Gungahlin, and that Monaro midfielder really need to start to tighten up.
Being stretched all over the place at the moment. Corbett goes in with Morinin. It's going to break for Grandy. Maybe a tactical reshuffle needed by Michele Biscotti. Ian Worthington, their coach, still overseas, doing his pro licence in the UK. He's probably watching this and texting some advice through. Here's Pennyfield. That'd be just to us. Comes from Stella DiMarco. To Nat DiMarco. To Corbett. And her strike at goal is easy for Jelena Josipovic. But once again, nice build-up and good momentum being built by Gungahlin.
Yeah, absolutely. So we see the next high ball. Can they get on that second ball, and how from here can they keep possession without needing to rush?
Morinen plays the channel. Asks Bozanovska to run it. Good pace from Percival to come across to defend, and not only that, to step away from Alyssa Bozanovska as well, and then play a good ball forward to Erica Pennyfield, and she wants a runner, and it's like Tulu in through the middle here, and the ball is just going to beat her. Josipovic came out, but Tulu's got a foot on it. It's an open goal if Brown sends it back goalwards. First time she's tried to do that. Took a deflection though, and Zoe Miller did well to take the sting off that shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well out there from the Monaro goalkeeper. She'd set herself high, so almost acting as a sweeper there, which was really pleasing to see. Unfortunately, the deflection from Tulu, and maybe Brown with a first-time shot instead of taking that first touch. Take that gamble.
Can't be too critical on the player that scored twice though, can we?
It's the old coach in me, mate, always wanting more.
Filanetto sends that up front. Picked off easily by Ratowski. Atulu. Stella DiMarco. Here's Compton at the back. But again, it's going to fall for a black and white shirt, and they're going to get a free kick as well. Just haven't been able to this midfield. That we talked about Christia Poe before kickoff, and they've not been able to get her in the game at all.
Yeah, no, I think that's a big issue for them. I mean, as I mentioned, I was pretty excited to see her in the middle of the park and thought she'd get a bit more ball, but as it's turned out, I think she's maybe had 2 or 3 touches, and that's something that they probably need to correct there and potentially gamble slightly once they've won that ball and see if they can get Yipao just behind the Gungahlin midfield and use her as the outlet. You can see giving instructions to the team now as to where and when she wants them to go.
First things first, though, they've got to get the ball back, which they're struggling to do at the moment. Here's Morinen. Corbett's there, steps away from Morinen, looks for the runner outside, who's Nat DiMarco. Not much in the way of black and white shirts ahead of her. So forced to come backwards to find Patterson. Corbett once more. Nat DiMarco. Atulu came short, and she tries to look with a great effort on the turn. That is a fantastic goal from Elka Atulu, and one that she's deserved. Beautiful turn, and the strike was firm, and there was no chance for Josipovic in the goal. It's 3-0.
Yeah, it looked like there was almost nothing happening there as DiMarco sat there on the edge of the box, and a great run off the line from Atulu. Got a fantastic turn first time, and she's absolutely belted that into that far corner. Keeper left unawares, really, caught off guard. Don't expect people to shoot from there. But again, Atulu showing the quality that she brings to this Gungahlin United outfit. Absolutely
no chance for the goalkeeper on that occasion. And it's a long way back for the Panthers from here. Here's Sander. Patterson. No, Corbett rather, looking for Sander. And she's off to the races. Brigitte Sander still going. Joy's across to try and stop that forward run. Good ball into. Here is Yapo. All she can do is just hoik it away, where Stella DiMarco has been patrolling and picking up all the loose pieces and earning a free kick. Quietly going about her business, Stella DiMarco.
Yeah, just playing in that holding midfield role, picking it up, distributing. You know, nothing outrageous or shining, but does her job. And, you know, that would be really pleasing to Diego Iglesias and his staff, that she's in there plugging away and starting attacks.
She's found Nat DiMarco, who thought about the shot. Pettyfield's there. Here's Stella DiMarco. Finds Nat DiMarco. A lovely feat. Free kick given as Corbett fires one goalwards. And free kick on the edge of the area, and this will be a dangerous situation and a shooting chance perhaps.
Yeah, interesting to see who Gungahlin put on this. Haven't seen who their free kick specialists are, but you've got people like DiMarco and Atulu who have already shown that they can hit a ball from distance, and interesting to see whether they've got this set play, whether it is. It's a tricky one to defend, because you'd almost, if I was a free kick taker, I'd probably be going for goal, but that's probably also why I wasn't a free kick taker. So
I didn't take them either, but I probably would have having a pop from there as well. Alex Patterson is the one behind it. Will she have a go or will she lift it in? She's put it into a danger area and there's a good one too. Just needed a runner to get some sort of touch on it. Lovely delivery.
Absolutely perfect. You couldn't ask much more than that. That was right on the spot. Keeper had to come, so the goal was open, and you just needed one or two more explosive runs to just get a foot on that, I think, and then there's another goal in the back of the net, and your day's getting better.
What is better, Matt, is it winter or spring? Yeah. It's quite balmy here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
No coat required, no wind. Perfect day for football in the national capital.
Absolutely. Enjoying this while it lasts. I don't know how much longer we'll get it for, but it's absolutely brilliant.
Slight difference to Wednesday. Here's a Tulu in the penalty area, and she's got in front. Now Brown's coming in on the far post. It's cut back behind everybody there, but Brown's going to be first to react. That's a lovely ball inside to Nat DeMarco, who steps away from one challenge, looking for a shooting chance. It might be Pennyfield who lines one up outside the area, and a good piece of defending from Yapo to get a foot on. It will be a corner, but Gungahlin ruthless and looking for more.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't quite taken the foot off the pedal. They're breaking them well down that wide areas. The only small criticism that you could have was that when that ball came in, there was really only one person in the box, and you don't want to allow Monaro to get back into this.
Pennyfield with the set piece, swings it into the near post. Morinen's volley away. Back it comes again. It was swung in and should be easy for the goalkeeper. It was Patterson who got that one all wrong. Wasn't quite as good as her previous delivery. We'll forgive her on that occasion though. Early ball forwards. Edwards, who's been peripheral at the moment after last week's heroics. Atulu. Compton gets a foot in. Now here's Yapo. Chance for her perhaps to do something in a forward option, and looks to find the run of Sturton. Percival's there though and should tidy up comfortably. Left it a little bit short for a goalkeeper, but Tanini did well.
Very well.
Keeping her on her toes. Stella DeMarco brings it forward to Corbett. Pennyfield looks for the return ball, and off she goes. Grandy's with her, and she's got plenty of gas. Charlotte Grandy gets back to defend well.
Yeah, covered very well there. Starting to wonder whether Monaro now start to look at a change of tactics.
As Corbett gets it in the area, Grandy takes it off her toe just as she was lining one up. Neto scooped that one into the air. Now here's Yapo. Finally gets her foot on the ball and a chance to do something. Neto sends it forward. Edwards is the target. But Sander has seen where she's coming from. Turnover from Tanini to Neto. Clips it into the middle. Stella DeMarco's back there defending. You can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the ball early to their front three, but it's just not working for them, Matt, is it? And as you mentioned, perhaps a change of tactics required?
Yeah, I'm just standing here, Russ, wondering whether for Monaro they've had trouble winning the ball back, whether they start to sit a little bit deeper and maybe pull their two wingers off slightly. And that might encourage the two Gungahlin fullbacks to drop through, which creates a bigger pocket of space for them to explode into as they win the ball and maybe go to a more counter-attacking style.
Let's keep an eye on that and see if they do change. As Pennyfield swings it into the area. Good ball too, and that's looped up off of Zoe Miller, who for a moment feared the worst. But it did go over the bar for a corner. It's a horrible one to defend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that one where it's dipping and it's dropping, and you know you've got someone behind you. You have to attack it. You don't have a choice, and we've seen many of them sky up or go straight into the back of the net. But all's well that ends well, and now it's how Monaro defend that corner, and hopefully for them, they can take it cleanly and attack some of the wide area spaces that are on offer.
Brown with the latest corner for Gungahlin. Good delivery into the penalty area. Percival took it away, I think, from Atulu, who was winding up the volley. Nat DeMarco sends it straight back into the area, and no one gambles from Gungahlin in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, nobody there, expecting maybe Nat to just hold on to the ball and recycle it there, but an interesting ball in, and that's where Gungahlin can't afford to really get lazy. Goal difference will be a big factor in this top 4 run as well, and you want to start to take every advantage and every opportunity that you can. Otherwise, it might be crucial at the back end of the season.
Yeah, their 6th game of the season. This puts them on plus 12 at the moment, and that's 10. Worse less than Canberra Academy, who's on plus 22, and then, of course, FC on now plus 27, I think it would be, and Belconnen United's over the hill and far away with their goal difference. Plus 49, I believe, now. 3 12-0 wins in succession for the Blue Devils.
Can't crack 50. Something for Belconnen to work on this week.
They haven't conceded a goal in the league this season, in their 6 league matches so far. Can't argue with that defensively. And a shout out to their defenders and their players who got their first goals yesterday. Lauren Keir got a couple. I've always been giving her a bit of grief for not scoring, but she scored a couple. Katie Woodman got first one of the season, and Jazz Zabel as well. Atulu sends that goalwards. So I believe that only the goalkeeper, Sally James, hasn't found the net for Belconnen just yet.
Happy day if you're a Blue Devil.
It certainly is. You wonder where they can go from here as well. Keep winning games and winning them well, and they keep rolling through that academy production line of youngsters. There was plenty of them playing yesterday as well, and it's good to see them all getting a run, the young players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives a pathway forward, and it's a credit to the setup that they have there, that they can keep producing players and rolling them out. And maybe that's an area that other clubs can look at. You know, a little bit of short-term pain to start to develop your own players, and as they progress, your club progresses, and you build a real quality culture, and that's probably what we need.
Coming into the final 7 or so minutes of the match, of the half, I should say. And Panthers will be hoping they can strike before half-time if they can. Might give themselves a glimmer of hope of getting something from this encounter. At the moment, it looks unlikely, because Gungahlin not only have a 3-goal lead, but they have dominated possession and territory. Here's Bozanovska looking to change that. Rotowski back to Tonini, who's not had a save to make of note just yet. Stella DeMarco loses out to Chris Yapo. She looks to bring Edwards into play. Here is Edwards, looking to send it in towards Sturton, and better build-up on that occasion for the Panthers. The final ball not quite there. Glimmer of hope for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we can see Yipao the last couple of times she's been able to get the ball in space and face forward. She's started to ask a few different questions that the Panthers haven't been able to do so far today.
Good win from Morin in the air. Bozanovska. Tulu back doing a bit of defensive work. DeMarco. Here's Stella DeMarco up towards Atulu. Lovely turn that. And touch. And a good ball down the line from Stella DeMarco to find Pennyfield. She's got Brown busting her gut to get in on the far post, and again Miller is there defensively to clear. Another good build up there from Gungahlin.
Yeah, absolutely. Good clearance there from the Panthers defender, but the build up was quality. Atulu came off that line and occupied that holding midfielder for the Panthers that released DeMarco to be able to play that ball through, and that's the area where they're having great success.
Pennyfield to swing it in towards the near post. Morin doing her defensive duties. Patterson's throw. Brown back to Patterson. Tries to squeeze it through the gap where Morin is there. Morin doing a good job as a defensive midfielder. You'd like to see her getting forward as well if you can, because she can, as you said, cause the keeper problems with shots from distance.
Yeah, absolutely. She's certainly got the ability to trouble any goalkeeper in the competition, and from any distance. And maybe the holding midfield role puts a little bit more of a restriction on that, but maybe we'll see a change coming forward in that second half.
Good switch towards Sander. Miller's in the way. She's defended pretty well, Zoe Miller too. Got a bit more defending to do now. Atulu. It's Nat DeMarco. Gets it back from Corbett. Looks to slide it through for Brown, but there's Grandy. Compton happy to chip it out of play as we approach the half-time whistle. Patterson to Pennyfield. Here's Ratowski. Yapo got a foot in. Patterson again. It's notably a lot quieter than Wednesday when we were doing the game, isn't it, in terms of the chat we were talking about on the field. Matt?
Yeah, a little bit quieter and probably not quite at the same intensity that we saw as well. You know, there was some very hefty challenges on the Wednesday night, and
it's a great ball from Nat DeMarco to get Pennyfield in, and she's blazed it over the crossbar in the end.
Yeah, she'll be disappointed with that Pennyfield, but again, Nat DeMarco opening up into space there, and all the time in the world to pick a pass that she pleases. And that's probably one thing that maybe if you're Gungahlin United coaching staff heading into the second half, you're starting to think, well, well, you're 4-0 up now. You can't be too disappointed, but what sort of level can we go to in the second half? We know 3-0 up. Sorry, we know that they've got a big few weeks coming up, and the key for them will be able to play at that high intensity that they know they're going to have to.
Well, they've given that one away to Ratowski, running forwards. Looking to get your prediction there, mate. You said 4. They nearly got 4.
Yeah, so it'll be an intensity thing for Gungahlin United, I think, especially in that second half. You know, can they run over the top of Monaro and really send a statement heading into the next couple of weeks?
It's Pennyfield. It's Nat DeMarco. You feel like they've got a couple of gears that can go up as well, this Gungahlin team. They're playing within themselves in terms of the pace that they're doing things. You feel there is more to come. It's Nat DeMarco. Stella DeMarco finds Patterson, who's had a heap of possession in this first half. Looks to lift that one in towards Brown on the far post, and Miller needs to be careful here. Brown's taken off, a real chance for a hat-trick, and she was never going to miss once she got in. A first-half hat-trick for Ella Brown. There is the 4th goal, as predicted by Matt Moore.
Yeah, nice worked in there. Great little cross in, and Miller unfortunate there. She's defended them quite well for the most part of this first half there, and just got tangled into her feet, and one of those things that probably had to go first time, and caught through, and probably never in doubt once Brown had that ball at her feet.
Caps a very good first 45 minutes for both Gungahlin and Ella Brown personally. First half hat-trick. Doubled her tally for the season now to 6. And she might not be finished yet. We've seen some incredible goal-scoring feats this season in the women's competition. A couple of 6-goal hauls. Helly Telly Young memorably getting one we did. Maddie Whittle's got a 6 and a 5. 5 for Kira Bobbin yesterday as well. Rachel Goldstein's had a bag full too. So plenty of goals around.
Absolutely, and I think there's no doubt there's more to be had here. And for Monaro, really, in that going into half-time, it's how do we want to approach the second half? Okay, so you can go in with your head down and be disappointed, or you can go in and make a plan for that second half and restructure and really start to chip things away, because stranger things have happened.
DeMarco looks to put Ratowski through the middle. Joy's there. As a former coach, though, Matt, I guess the problem is if the line is quite high and you've got the pace of Brown and they're getting in behind, you run the risk, I guess, if you go deeper then of letting more space for Nat DeMarco and Stella DeMarco to do their stuff and Rachel Corbett in the middle of the park.
Yeah, that's true. And that's where I think potentially the shape might have to change as well. So you potentially go even to a back 5 so that you've got a little bit of extra coverage. You leave one up high, so you almost go to a 5-3-1, which will also allow you to step in and put the pressure on, and that should allow people like Yipau and Murnan, who we've spoken about, who they're aggressive when they go forward and they can run at defenders, lots more pockets of space higher up the park to run at, and then potentially work off the lone striker to play some combinations.
Well, plenty of work to do for the Monaro Panthers coaching staff at half-time, because it's been all Gungahlin United pretty much from the get-go. A first-half hat-trick from Ella Brown, added to a goal and a cracker too from Elka Atulu, has the Gunners firmly in control here at the AIS. We'll be back for the second half, but at half-time it's Gungahlin United 4, Monaro Panthers 0. Welcome back to the AIS. It's the second half of the Women's National Premier League, and it's Gungahlin United who are in complete control of this one at the moment, 4-0 ahead at half-time. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator. Joining me as he did in the first half is Matt Moore. And Matt, probably a difficult conversation for the Panthers coaching staff to have at half-time. You know, we talked in the first half about what they could do to change it, and it'll be interesting to see first 10-15 minutes about how they go about this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never an easy task going in at half-time as a coach, and being 4-0 down or any sort of scoreline down, but I'm sure the key messages there would have been that, you know, we've been a constant threat all year. You know, we are better than what we've shown so far, and no doubt the coaching staff have identified some tactical tweaking that they could do, and, you know, we thought of some ourselves during that first half period, and be interesting to see what adjustments they've made, and I certainly hope that they've made some you know, key ones, because I think if they keep going the way that they were going in the first half, you know, things won't improve. Yeah,
it might get a bit messy. Let's have a look at how they ended the first half. It was Josipovic in goal, Miller, Joy, Compton and Grandy across the back, Moiranen as holding midfielder, Fuller, Neto and Yapo in front of her, Edwards, Sturton and Bozanovska up front. Panthers just starting the game. Gungahlin United, Tanini in goal, Patterson, Percival, Ratalski and Sander across the back. Stella DeMarco in the sixth role, Nat DeMarco, Corbett ahead of her, Pennyfield, and then the goal scorers, Tulu, who got the third goal, and Ella Brown, who has the other three. And we're expecting a response from the Panthers if we can get one. We'll make for an interesting afternoon as it is. It's Gungahlin starting on the front foot and Pennyfield swinging it into the penalty area. Tulu lets it run. Just stabbed clear by Miller. Picked up by Yapo, and then Fuller Neto hoiks one forwards. And that's nicely done by Percival, allowing Ratalski to go home. And find Tanini. Wraps one forwards. Here's Pennyfield. Patterson's touch. Corbett in midfield. Percival. Stella DeMarco. Nat DeMarco in that pocket of space. Stella DeMarco again. Brown's peeled away. Off she goes. Looking to take on Miller once more. Sander in towards the edge of the penalty area, but Moiranen was in the way and got rid. But at the moment, the early stages in the second half, the pattern seems to be much like the first at the moment. Here's Nat DeMarco looking to advance forwards. Gets it back again and might put a Tulu in here. Real chat for a Tulu, but she blazes this one high and wide of the goal. Good opportunity again. Lovely ball from DeMarco, and Gunners looking as sharp as they did in the first 45.
Yeah, absolutely. Nat DeMarco there, just again showing a little quality to open up a little bit of space, and a clever little dink in behind there for a Tulu, whose eyes probably lit up. Everybody gets excited by the chance to smack one in the air, and maybe went for too much power and not quite enough placement. But again, early danger signs again for Monaro here in the start of the second half.
Good goal kick up towards Yapo. Edwards tries to step away from the runner. Still challenging here, Edwards. Ratalski stands strong though. Ball down the line towards Tolu. Bit of goal already at Greenway. Sharon Chow has given Canberra FC the lead. Tuggeranong 0, Canberra FC 1. I think Bosnich will be looking for a response to midweek cup exit and a disappointment of having their points deducted. Got an early response.
Yeah, that'll make him very happy and make Canberra FC a little bit more relaxed for that game, because you say bad luck normally comes in threes. So hopefully putting that to bed nice and early. But great pressure earlier from Edwards up here, and that's something that would probably really please the coaching staff of Monaro. The question is the rest of the team going to come along for the ride and add that extra pressure in?
Moiranen looking to do just that, getting onto that left foot. Thought about the shot. Won herself a free kick, and it's better spell this from the Panthers, and a chance for them perhaps to send some bodies into the penalty area and cause one or two issues for Kaylee Tanini.
Yeah, absolutely. Good pressure there from Monaro, really pushing in and creating that free kick. And as you mentioned, Russ, a great opportunity here. I'd probably like to see Moiranen creep a little bit further.
Smashed goalwards, that one, and it's dipping and swerving, and it wasn't too far away. Caitlin Joy again, who scored a cracker against the Wanderers from distance, and Got a fair boot on her, hasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that delivery, other than the fact it wasn't on target. Had it been, it would have asked a lot of questions of that goalkeeper, and good positive sign for Monaro. It gives them something to build off, and you'd hope that they could get a goal in the next 5 or so minutes and really start to ask them different questions and give them a bit of confidence to really kick on.
A warning to the rest of the league as well. If you're playing the Panthers, try not to concede a free kick 30 yards or so from goal. You might be in trouble. Here's Morin in. Brings it nicely under control and then tries to lift it forward, but she's overhit the ball on that occasion. But it's better from the Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely. We probably didn't even have this level of sustained territory for Monaro in that first half. That's 3 or 4 efforts now where they've been able to lock it in and create an opportunity. So that's positives, and it's now about what they can build off from here.
Tanini with the goal kick. Yapo wins the header, and it's going to fall in between Edwards, who's challenging well and got away from Percival. Good perseverance from Edwards. Good ball across the 6-yard box. Real chance for Bozanovska. Couldn't turn it into the net from 3 or 4 yards out, but much, much better for the Monaro Panthers. Their best chance of the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Great pressure from Edwards there. We mentioned her before in an earlier press, and she's done well and created a great opportunity, and Bozanovska would be disappointed with that. She had the goal there and couldn't quite finish. Ball coming at pace, and probably saw it a little bit late as it came past the defender, but great signs, and that's something that should give Monaro a great deal of confidence, and you'd be starting to think once that back four Gungahlin get the ball, press.
That DeMarco finds Brown. Looks for the 1-2 with the Tulu and gets it back. Good weight on the pass as well. Good defending to block the cross from Caitlin Joy. Here's DeMarco. Corbett. Patterson wants it wide, gets it. Good ball in. Compton was there with a foot in. It's going to fall for Tulu. Onto the right foot. Thought about the shot. Still going Tulu. Dancing feet from Elka Tulu, and a good ball in towards the far post. And well done, Jelena Josipovic, for intercepting that as Brown was lurking.
Yeah, good little bit of creativity there from Tulu on the edge of the box. And again, you see a little bit of difference. She didn't panic. She was waiting for the opportunity to come and ended up creating one of her own. So nice there, and well done by the keeper to snuff that out. But again, Monaro failing to clear their lines and be able to create any quality build-up play to break out of their own half.
Corbett, Tulu out wide, swings one into the area. Chance here for Brown. It might be 4 for Brown. She stabbed it wide. Good chance that for Ella Brown, and good goalkeeper from Josipovic to throw herself in front of it. Maybe just put her off.
Yeah, Josipovic there, great job. Put the absolute pressure. The most amount of pressure you possibly could there. That was well done. The ball came over, and for all purposes of money, would have thought Brown would have buried that, but Josipovic there really making an absolute difference. See a different style of play out here.
Gone short with the goal kick. Morinen looks to push it forwards to Bozanovska, who had that chance a moment ago to reduce the arrears. Battles well there with Patterson. Chance for Grandy. Haven't seen her forward very often today. Edging towards the box, and that's good challenge back, and appeals for the corner, but referee Anton Churchyard says goal kick. But much brighter start to the second half from the Panthers, and most we've seen them as an attacking force as well. But obviously, as they go looking, they will be leaving gaps.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've seen a bit of an early press or a higher press there from the front line of Monaro, and a different playing short instead of going the long, which is nice to see because they did have trouble winning those high balls early on, and possibly pays dividends. Again, some pressure in and forcing them backwards.
Percival's ball forward to Stella DeMarco. Wants it back again. Everyone happy to take a touch here. This is Sander. Nat DeMarco. Clips it outside to Brown. Tulu's gone inside, so that's tried to force the ball through towards Compton when the shorter pass might have been the better option on that occasion. DeMarco gets it back. That's a nice touch, but just runs out of field. Yapo brings it down nicely. Tenby Compton. Grandy. Ball forward to Bozanovska. been a better start, though. Do you think the Michele Biscotti and the Panthers coaching staff will be pleased with what they've seen, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a much brighter start for this second half there, and even in that phase there where they were willing to play the ball across the back line and then look for that opportunity to go forward. We didn't see that in the first half, so there's a bit more patience and a bit more willingness to try things. Nice flick.
Yeah, delightful flick from Tulu. But DeMarco, I think that was trod on the football. Does that really well, the centre forward, brings the others into play. Here's Moorinen. Caitlin Joy. To lift that one over towards Edwards, and she might get in here at the moment. Liz Edwards. Scored 3 goals this season for the Panthers. Only one of 3 players that has found the target for them this year. Caitlin Joy with 2, both of them from set pieces, a free kick and a penalty, and Alicia Moorinen with the other one. Sienna Summers, who has scored a goal against Canberra FC, absent today.
Yeah, nice to see Joy get involved there, picking the ball up in the centre-back area and starting to drive forward. So we didn't see much of her in the first half, but starting to show what value outside of the set pieces that she can bring. And Edwards starting to prove a bit of a handful for Sanders there, and that might be something that Gungahlin United have to watch as this game goes on, because they're starting to get a fair deal of success.
Well, we see Moorinen from range shooting. Let's see what her delivery's like left-footed from the corner. Looks like a good one, dropping into the danger area, and it might come for Bozanovska on the far post. Probably would have been pinged for handball had she got the shot away. Advantage being played. Now DeMarco taking full advantage to find Brown. It's asking a lot for a Tulu. She's a willing runner, though. And Compton says discretion is a better part of valour on that occasion and concedes the corner.
Yeah, nice little counter-attack there from Gungahlin United, where they've picked the ball up well from the corner. And Ella Brown there picking it up and going for the early ball for a Tulu. And looking at the numbers game there, maybe the next time round that's something where she'll look to actually take the player on and draw one out and play that pass a little bit later and give a Tulu a bit more of an opportunity to play one-on-one.
Brown will take the corner. Just to swing it into the near post. We'll come back to Brown again. Better delivery this time. Chance on the edge of the box perhaps for Corbett. Couldn't get it under control, and here comes Furlanetto. Bozanovska outside her. Foot race with Pennyfield, and Pennyfield wins that particular battle. That's nicely done by Ratowski. Tulu's turn. Pennyfield. Build-up's good. Patterson again. That's straight the way through to the goalkeeper, who's looked relatively untroubled so far in this half. As the sun comes out, forcing Matt to put on the sunglasses in winter.
And you just see Gungahlin starting again, all this room in the middle of the park there, which caused Monaro problems in the first half, is starting to reopen again here in the second half. So how can they adjust on the run now to take care of that and not put themselves in the same dangerous positions?
Watching live football on Bar TV Sports. Going to see a Gungahlin United substitution. So Diego Iglesias perhaps not best impressed with what he's seen with his team in the second half in terms of an attacking force. This is Freya Jacobson, is it, that's going to join us? Trying to see who's going off over there.
I think it was Corbett.
I think it was Rachel Corbett, and Jacobson comes in.
Yeah, I guess if you're Diego Iglesias, the one thing that you're looking for here is a sustained performance, a full 90 minutes, and potentially going up a little bit in intensity. So you've got Monaro on the rack. They're now starting to creep back into the game a little bit, and as we mentioned earlier, you've got big games coming up against the Canberra United Academy and Canberra FC that will really put a stamp on your season, and those games you would anticipate, from given what we saw on Wednesday night, will be played at a far higher intensity. So do Gungahlin have another gear or two to go up and really make a statement and really send out some big warning signs to the rest of the competition?
Here's Brown. Finds Stella DeMarco. Sander. to squeeze it through. Here's Yapo on the break for the Panthers. More goals down at Greenway. It's now Tuggeranong United 0, Canberra FC 3. Sharon Chow's added to her earlier goal with a second in the afternoon, and there's one there for Vanessa Ryan as well. So Canberra FC very much shaking off the disappointment of Cup exit in midweek and getting their league campaign back on track. Great ball that from Jacobson, and she's got Pennyfield in behind here. Real chance here for Pennyfield, and she goes for goal. And Brown was coming in on the far post as well. But lovely ball from Jacobson. Good first involvement.
Yeah, absolutely. First chance that she's been able to get on the ball, and it's an absolute cracker there, getting Pennyfield in from behind. And again, though, we're seeing some tendencies with Gungahlin United where they've got the willing runner at the back post, but nothing coming through the middle to create a secondary option. And that's, as critical as you can be with a team that's comfortably in control. That's one area that maybe Diego Iglesias will be looking at.
Jacobson again getting involved with another perfectly weighted pass to find Pennyfield into the area. Patterson tries to step away from Compton, who stood strong, concedes a corner, but Jacobson has had exactly the kind of involvement you'd want as a coach when you put on a substitute.
Yeah, absolutely. She's come on and she started to affect the game really well and created 2 opportunities in behind. And, with the number 10 on your back, making use of that creative opportunity, and another midfield player that Monaro can't sleep on.
3 goals for her this season as well, so she can find the net too. Corner swung in, Moiranen gets rid of it, and there's a bit of space here for Bozanovska to break into for the Panthers. Only Sturton in front. So she slows the play up. Better option on that occasion. There's Moiranen too, trying to squeeze it through. That's what you were talking about in the first half, Matt, about them not rushing things, about the options not being on and then taking their time. Yeah,
absolutely there. So he had the big counter-attack and cleverly turned back inside and played the ball back to Moiranen. Potentially could have played the ball inside to Sturton there. He'd made a nice run off the back 4, but pleasing signs early. Now Monaro look to change the point of attack and go from one side to the other.
Great ball in towards the penalty area, and Edwards might take this in her stride. Chance here for Edwards, and she's got it in front of the goalkeeper, and it's been cleared off the line. And that was the best chance the Panthers have had all afternoon. Good commitment from Edwards to get there, and I think it was Ratalski who got back to save the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done by Edwards there. Again, putting immense pressure on and creating all sorts of problems for Sander there in the Gungahlin United defence. And unlucky for Monaro, unlucky for Gungahlin for a goal not to be conceded there. And it looks like we've got a Monaro play down in back play.
A bit of cramp, I think. Is it Grandy? The fullback, it might well be. Just maybe overstretched something there or twisted something. Doesn't look in a good way though, does she?
No, not at all, which is unfortunate because she's somebody who does add a lot of value, and that overlapping run from fullback can really supplement Bozanovska, who's up the top there, and they've had a little bit of success there, more on the other side of the field, but it's something that potentially changes the dynamics a little bit again. And just as they're starting to build a little bit of momentum, that'll be disappointing for the Monaro coaching staff.
Yeah, first impressions are that that's her afternoon run, you would think. And I think that's Gabby Markulin, who might well be joining us shortly. We might be getting on with the game, though, while Panthers decide what they're going to do. I don't think we're going to see Charlotte Grandy back. Hope she's okay, though. Getting a bit of treatment behind the assistant on the far side. In the meantime, we get on with the football, and good chance out for Edwards to nick one back there. And that's great defending, you think, from Ratalski. Team's 4-0 up. Commitment to get back in there, make gamble that if the keeper does miss the ball, you're there to clear up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that'll please the coaching staff to no end. It's you see it not even when you're 4-0 up, but you might be 1-0 up or 1-0 down, and players just give up, and that sort of level of commitment can only bode well going forward for the rest of the year.
Here's Sturton. Turns well. Miller. Back to Sturton again. Edwards has made a run for her. Tried to step inside Ratalski, who got a foot in. There's DeMarco. Brown. DeMarco. Jacobson. They've worked that nicely. Brown again. The shadows lengthen across the AIS in this live WMPL action. Percival finds Jacobson. Patterson. Left that a bit short though, and here's a chance for Furlaneto. Might have to go on her own at the moment because Sturton and Edwards were the only options forward. Morinen's joined the attack now, looks to return the ball. Still battling away, Alicia Morinen. But Gungahlin now have it back. And Jacobson forces into the path of DeMarco. Brown, Atulu looking for that 1-2 again, which they've done very well throughout the game. Brown looking for the return pass to Atulu. Good build up again by the Gunners. Brown once more. Delivers in towards Jacobson, who got a touch, and it might come for Pennyfield. And maybe the touch just took it away from her.
Yeah, nice little combination play there from Atula and Brown adding the back heel in now as Gungahlin push on again.
Stella DeMarco's ball forwards. She gets it back again. Squares it to Nat DeMarco. Atulu, shooting chance from range, curls one. Just wide a goal, but a nice build-up once more for Gungahlin United.
Yeah, very patient there with Stella DeMarco there being a key influence player there. Atulu again off the line looking to turn, and I think as she's proven in the first half, that sort of spacing around the edge of the 18 they can't really afford. Monaro can't really afford to give Gungahlin at the moment.
Yapo, lovely touch from Yapo. Percival's there though. Impressive centre-back pairing, Percival and Rotowski. Showing good physical presence and decent distribution as well, and good pace.
Yeah, good willingness to drive forward too, not just sitting there and distributing, but willing to break a line and overload the midfield. A midfield that's already functioning very well with their rotations.
Sander looked for Atulu, who wanted the ball just a little bit earlier from the fullback. The Panthers stem the flow of goals that they were conceding in the first half. And this is much more like the type of match we thought we were going to get. Here's Brown. Stepping away, gets a shot away, Brown, and it was moving in the air. But Josipovic watched it all the way. And as I said, Matt, this is more the kind of game we expected at kickoff.
Yeah, absolutely. We came here expecting a real arm wrestle and a really tight contest that we thought would go through. And if we were going to have goals, they might be late as opposed to early.
Furlaneto chasing this. Tonini out of her goal to send it up the field.
But in saying that, it's a credit to Gungahlin United and how they came out of the blocks early and really imposed themselves early on.
Patterson. Atulu. Patterson again. Brown at the near post. And it's Brown who wins the header. It's going to fall for Nat DeMarco. Skips away here. Real chance for DeMarco inside the 6-yard box. Must be a goal, and is. Turned in by Erica Pennyfield. The build-up work from Nat DeMarco and very unselfish to square, and Pennyfield simply couldn't miss.
No, absolutely. Their ball out the back to Nat DeMarco, and that ball on her foot's almost like it's stuck there. Some really silky skills that she showed off in that one-on-one that she has all around the park all day, and would have been easy to take the shot there too. So unselfishly did the team thing and squared up for a goal that was almost impossible to miss. But they're on the board again in that for this second half, and interesting to see how Monaro respond. They've been good. They've made progress early on, and can they continue to push on, or do they start to fade away? Because there's still things that you can get out of this game, even with a scoreline as it is at the moment.
5 goals here, 3 at Greenway, none so far after 25 minutes at O'Connor in the men's NPL. Olympic 0, Belconnen 0. Might not be done in terms of goals here.
No, possibly not, and I think Monaro is still playing with 10 at the moment. I don't think they've made that sub yet either, so that's probably not playing into their hands greatly either, but Joy again pushing forward there, and Murinen looking to impose herself early on.
Furlaneto looking to chase after this. Almost squared it across the middle. Interesting that they haven't made the change just yet. They're giving Grandy plenty of time to get ready, and I don't think she's going to make it. Marculin is going to come on. That's a bit of a strange one. Here's Stella DeMarco. Bozanovska, who had the best chance for the Panthers today. Furlaneto just lifts one to this near side where Edwards will battle with Sander. Been a good duel, this one, between young fullback and the winger.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good duel in that second half there, and potentially maybe Edwards slightly too narrow there for that ball and creeping in a little bit too close to the centre of the field. If she starts a little bit wider, there's the opportunity to get that ball in behind or potentially into feet to take one-on-one, where she's had quite a bit of success so far in that second half.
So Gungahlin comes on for Grandy. He's taken a position a bit further forward than Grandy had. Pick off by Morunen. First involvement for Gungahlin. That's a touch of a substitute, is a bit rusty.
Yep, just walking into the game there, but Morunen again, that's probably 3 or 4 times in the last 5 minutes. Reading that play really, really well and picking off that pass and trying to drive her team forward, so starting to have a really positive impact.
In case you missed it, the results from yesterday in the Women's Premier League: Belconnen United 12, Walker City Wanderers 0. 3 games in the men's NPL were played. Canberra FC went to Griffith and beat the Riverina Rhinos by 3-0. A couple of goals from Daniel Barach there. Gungahlin United with 4 goals from Riley Angela Santi won 5-0 against Worden Western. And last night at the Riverside, Monaro Panthers put in a masterclass display in seeing off a disappointing Tuggeranong by 4-1. Some great goals there. Nikos Kalfas and Josh Galewski scoring 2 thunderbolts amongst their goals. We've seen 5 here this afternoon. 3 for Ella Brown, 1 for Elka Otulu, and 1 for Erica Pennyfields. And Edwards tried to spin away to get inside the penalty area. There's been a lot of goals this season in a lot of games, hasn't there?
Yeah, it's probably been surprising, I would say. You would expect the odd maybe 4 or 5-0 or 6-0 game across both competitions here and there, but the number of goals this year has been quite substantial. It's been quite impressive.
13-3 in the men's NPL yesterday. Defence optional, as they say. Here's your Po. Great entertainment for us as a neutral there.
Absolutely.
Possibly not so much for the coaches tearing their hair out.
Absolutely.
Here's Sander looking to play that one forward. Morunen has it. Tries her luck from distance. It's dipping this one from Morunen, and that is what she has in her locker. An absolutely outstanding finish from distance. Once she struck it, it always had Tanini in trouble, and if there is a consolation, it's a good one.
Absolutely, that is a cracker for Morunen there. We've spoken a couple of times about her ability to strike a ball, and she has certainly done that and then some, and to do it from the distance that she did in the dip late, that is fantastic. First touch that set her up, and clear as day, dips right in between the glove and the bar, and you can't ask for anything better than that, can you?
4 more of those. I suspect if you're a Panthers fan. Great goal. We're talking about good goals I watched yesterday from players in Panthers shirts, and there's another one to add to the list. Saw Caitlin Joy score a cracker from a free kick last week as well, so running their own personal inter-club goal of the season competition.
Yeah, might be a tight run thing the way they're going, and again it shows some really good signs for Monaro. It shows what they are capable of, and we spoke about how they've been extraordinarily competitive so far this year, and that if they continue to push like that, I mean, who knows.
They do have some games to play, of course. They have that postponed match against Canberra Olympic from round 1, which they would hope to win, which would keep them in the mix for the top 4 as well. So all is not lost for the Panthers, and they just need to get some more bodies on deck, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. A little bit down on numbers today with weddings and potentially injury and illness and things like that. So you hope you get your full stuff.
Yeah, and their season not helped by the missing Solomon Islands internationals players, of which has been a fair bit about in the local media.
Yeah, absolutely, and that'd be frustrating for everyone involved in the club. They were pretty excited about those players coming in.
Not here just yet. There's still some hope that they may come before the end of the season, but I guess the club aren't really holding their breath right now. Here's DeMarco. And Stella DeMarco plays it forward to Atulu, and she tries her luck from range, and Josipovic looked a little bit nervy again there and didn't fancy diving on it.
No, a little bit, maybe a little bit too relaxed there, and just taking the touch and not quite switched on, and not what Monaro need at this particular point in the game.
Well, it was away from the danger area, wasn't it? So that was the important thing.
Save's a save.
Here's Percival looking for Jacobson. Going to fall for Patterson, who finds Pennyfield. Morinen, who's had probably as many touches as anyone in a Monaro shirt in that position.
Yeah.
Gives it away on this occasion to Percival, who steps away from one challenge, looks for the 1-2 with the Tulu. Still going, Percival. Sander was waiting like a sprinter at the starting blocks for the little ball through that didn't really come until too late for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And possibly Gungahlin got a little bit lucky there just before that ball came through that Percival pinched. They were one-on-one at the back, and they've got to be careful with that because Monaro have got the ability. They've shown that they can score a goal and they've got some pacey plays. If they're going to leave one-on-one at the back, they might be flirting with a little bit of danger, and that'll be something that Diego Iglesias will want to keep an eye on.
Sander tries to get past, and she's going to at the second attempt, and if she rolls this across goal, there was a chance. That was a tired-looking ball, wasn't it, from Brigitte Sander. She'd made 2 attempts to get there, and then when she got there, there's nothing left in the tank to swing it across into the middle.
No, absolutely not. And a good effort there. It would have been easy to just go down after the first challenge and have a rest. But again, we spoke about the commitment with clearing the line before, and a bit more extra commitment there to try and get that ball across and create something. But well done to Yipao as well to cut that out at the near post.
Brown with the corner. Swings it into the danger area. Real chance for another one, and it's turned in from Maddie Percival, who's come up from the back and caught it on the volley, and once she got a piece of that from that range, it was never going anywhere but the back of the net. It's half a dozen up for the Gunners.
Yeah, that's right. You can't ask the goalkeeper to do much about that, but that's a free run and a free attack on the ball there off a corner, and that won't please the Monaro coaching staff at all. I mean, that's something that's an easy fix. That's a loss of marker, and if you're playing with that man marking ability and the lack of attack on the ball. So good delivery though, and a quality finish, but some improvements there defensively.
Just about to say, probably the best kind of delivery you could want as an attacking player to get on the end of. It was put into that real corridor of uncertainty, I guess you'd call it, in between keeper and the 6-yard box, and asking someone to make it their own, and Percival did. Thumping it home from close range and putting an exclamation point, I guess, on the Gunners' victory. Here's Morinen. To squeeze it through, probably could have had a shot. Brown finds us a Tulu. Nice pass that to Pennyfield. Nat DeMarco. Pennyfield again. Gunners look like they've got their groove back. Patterson. Pennyfield. Lovely play to get Patterson in again, and she's got a lot of time to pick across here. Goes in towards a Tulu. Good piece of defending from Joy. Only as far as Nat DeMarco, though. Jacobson wants it on the edge of the box and fires one goalwards on target again. Nice build-up once more.
Yeah, absolutely there. We saw a Tulu come off the line early and bounce through, and DeMarco had replaced her there. So again, that central forward, the number 9, just working in between the defender and the midfield lines. And once Monaro come out, it's creating that hole and that panic for that killer ball to go into the wide area.
Plenty of creativity being shown by Gungahlin United throughout this game. Morinen prods that into space. Percival, who scored the latest goal, and Pennyfield slips.
Yeah,
Bit of an embarrassing one for her.
not ideal, especially when all the games are live streamed, so there's no forgetting that one.
There's no way to hide anymore, is there?
No, absolutely.
Well, back when we played, mate, and there was nothing streamed, we were lucky.
That's right. Yeah.
Every slip and every miss is magnified, but so is every cracking goal and every thumping tackle as well, so swings and roundabouts, as they say. Here's Percival. DeMarco. Pennyfield back on her feet and advancing. Lovely ball in as well towards Brown. That's come off of Miller's knee and should be a corner.
Miller's done well there. That's an awkward height for a defender. You can't. It's not quite high enough for their head. It's probably too high for the normal foot, and she's found a way to clear that. So well done to her. And to be fair, she's been good in those areas. She truly has. But you can start to see Monaro maybe just starting to run out of a little bit of legs here. They've done a lot of defending, and that space is really starting to open up, and their connection across the field's losing.
Brown looking to put it in a similar spot to where she put it a moment ago, bouncing around the penalty area. Edwards challenging with Sander. Gets the better of the duel on that occasion. Rotowski's header. Stella DeMarco. Percival flicks it wide to Sander. Atulu. Stella DiMarco. Patterson. Plenty of passes in this latest Gungahlin move. Pennyfield back to Patterson. Got a couple of yards on Bozanovska, who closes the gap pretty quickly and does well defensively.
Yeah, nice build up again there. Stella DiMarco picking it up at the back and just easily working it forward, almost walking it forward with pace there and looking to find that overlapping runner.
Pennyfield's infield to Atulu. Wants to get the 1-2 going again. They've worked these so well. Great feed again from Atulu. Here comes a shot, and that one's just wide of goal. And she's done well this afternoon and perhaps deserves more than just the one goal that she managed to get in the first half, as good as it was.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a cracker, but she's certainly be disappointed, I guess, with the output that she's hasn't had in terms of shots and goal ratio. But her combination play and the trouble that she's caused, the Monaro defence, has played an absolutely massive role in the goals for people like Ella Brown. She's really had a huge impact today.
Outstanding piece of display from a forward, and a very unselfish one as well, dropping deep, showing great feet we needed to, and good physical strength to hold the ball up. Perfect all-round display, you'd think.
Yeah, absolutely, and quite a humble display too. I mean, you think back to the goal that she scored, there was no celebration. She just kind of turned and walked back to halfway like you do it every day of the week.
Here's Pennyfields on the overlap. DiMarco is the only option in the 6-yard box at the moment. Pennyfield's pass couldn't squeeze its way past the Panthers' defence, though. Yeah, there was, like you said, there wasn't much celebration on any of the goals, was it? They've been fairly humble throughout the whole game.
Yeah, absolutely, and I guess that shows that's a credit to the coaching staff that they're not getting too far ahead of themselves, and it's possibly a reset motion to go back and make sure that you're doing the next thing, because as we know in football, what you've done's great, but it's what you do next that really, really counts, and the game can turn quite easily and quite quickly if you're not careful.
Well, Alex Patterson has done enough running today. She's off, replaced by Ruby Gambale. Probably slot into the similar position that Patterson was playing. Here's Sander on this near side. Brown runs through to Nat DiMarco, and she slides it through for Atulu, who's got goal side for a moment. Combination of Joy and Compton clears it, and Compton suddenly gets the attack of the cramp, and not surprised, she's put some real effort in this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been all over that back four and has covered more than once for the people around her, and she's been strong in the tackle and really looked to play the ball out. A heap of running there, and someone who can take a lot of pride out of her efforts today. And you can just see Atulu there, who picked up the ball and had a turn, a little bit frustrated that she wasn't able to get the shot away, but again, that's credit to Compton in the defence there. And after a long day, she'll need a nice bath tonight, I think.
Put some of the old Epsom salts in. That's what they work, don't they?
Yep. Got me through a few days, I think. It's
been an entertaining game to watch again, though, Matt. And as we've said, that Gungahlin looking like a side that could cause some problems for the expected trio of clubs that we're going to see in and around the top four this year. And if they put in performance like this on their day, there's no reason they might upset one or two.
No, absolutely not. It's been really pleasing. I think one of the really good things that we've seen today is the simplicity of a lot of their play. Everybody knows their role. There've been some excellent rotations of players and positions. Quite often you've had, we've spoken about Atulu playing in the front line, but she's picked the ball up in almost a holding midfield area on a couple of occasions. We've seen the front two or the wide front two players interchange with the two wide defenders as well, and everything's been simple, everything's been sharp, two-touch tempo, and nobody's really overplayed their hand at any stage, and that will be positive signs. And I guess for them the question is, going forward, can they do it when the intensity of the game goes up? That'll be the next challenge for them.
It's Percival to Stella DiMarco. First touch for Gambale. Atulu looks to find Pennyfield, but Bozanovska was back there defending.
Even that little movement there, Russ, you can see the ball come straight into Atulu, one-touch ball out to wide. Sure, it didn't come off, but that's been classic of what they've done today. 1-2 play, and as a defensive unit, especially at the back end of games when you're running out of legs, that's asking a lot to close that sort of thing down.
Atulu is going to take the corner. Percival jogging forwards. They've gone short with it to Gambale to swing it in towards the area, and it's going to drift over the top for a goal kick. Still 3-0. I'm hearing down at Greenway. Tuggeranong 0, Canberra FC 3. No goals between Olympic and Belconnen in the Men's National Premier League.
I think if you're Monaro, though, you take heart from efforts like Edwards today, who's been quite good in the second half. Murren's been far more involved, which would be pleasing. And there's certainly things to work off there. We spoke about Compton. Joy as well started to come into the game in the second half. So there's bits and pieces there to build off.
It's been a better second half performance all round for them, hasn't it, to be honest?
Yep.
Unfortunately, the damage was done at half-time as the Gunners led 4-0. Pennyfields. Atulu. Stella DeMarco. Always seems to have 5 or 6 yards of space, Stella DeMarco. Happy to find it. Sander finds Nat DeMarco. Going to force her way down the touchline. Brown. Looks to fire one from distance. It's going to dip, but just wide into the corner.
Yeah, and you mentioned Stella DeMarco, they're always in a little bit of space. Her movement's been really, really good. You know, sort of nicknamed the Smiling Assassin. She's always got a grin on her face and she's always looking to cause a little bit of mischief, but she's getting into really good positions there, and if it's not her, it's Nat DeMarco as well. So that sort of DeMarco tandem there's been a real problem for Monaro, and something they haven't quite been able to get to grips with.
Big goal in the men's NPL at O'Connor. Canberra Olympic lead Belconnen United by 1-0. The men's competition there, that's a game that Olympic will really need to win after slipping up against the Panthers last week. To keep the pressure on the Tigers at the top. There's a huge game next week, Tigers versus Canberra FC at Deakin Stadium. Likelihood is we might be there for that one. It's a lovely ball forward from Brown, and Sander is in on goal here for a chance. Is she going to go herself? She is. Didn't get enough pace on the shot in the end, and I think Atulu wanted a square ball.
Every striker always does. They're always on. But yeah, Sander there, good run and took the shot. Execution not quite there, but again, positive signs that they're pushing on. And we spoke about the rotation. We'd expect Ella Brown to be there, but it's Sander. Everybody feeling and playing their role.
You're not wrong there, though, Matt. They're always on, strikers, aren't they? Even marked by 4 players. Here's Jacobson. Pennyfield, he's had lots of crossing opportunities in this second half. Looks for Sander. Going to chase there and get this ball. Nat DeMarco. Square ball to Stella DeMarco. She could slide this one through to Jacobson, who stayed on side, and then it bounced off her shin. And you could see the way she eyed the sky in the end. She wasn't happy with her own control.
No, not at all there. And good little ball from Stella DeMarco, and changed it a little bit. Didn't just play the ball first time, took a little bit of a drive.
Well, here's Atulu lining one up from range, and that's dipping as well. And Josipovic had it covered all the way, though, on that occasion. Everyone wants to have a pop.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's eyes lighting up, and that'll be something that, you know, we've seen Atulu do that earlier, but we mentioned before, DeMarco just changing the game up a little bit by driving forward and opening that space up for Jacobson for that killer ball, and that'll be pleasing to see for Diego Iglesias. But the key will be for Gungahlin United not to get away from what's worked so well today.
Finishing the game on the front foot, as you would expect from a team 6-1 ahead. Jacobson, have they got something else in store before we finish? Brown looks to slide it through to Jacobson, picked off by Murinen, who was just waiting for that pass, and looks to send it forward for the runners up front. Markulin was chasing. Well, that's loose from Tonini, and she's giving it to Edwards, and Sturton tried her luck, and she's going to go down with a bit of cramp, as well as Yapo tries her luck from distance. And why not Kelly Sturton? She's had very few opportunities to show her worth today.
Yeah, absolutely. Great cover by Ratowski there. She's just literally come out of nowhere and thrown herself at the ball, preventing that shot. And again, that's the commitment, and that'll please everybody on and off the field there from a Gungahlin point of view.
Yeah, it's 6-1 up as well to do that. And Kelly Sturton, that's her last involvement. Player with number 171 on her back. Even when the Socceroos were here wearing 104, 105 many years ago, I think that's the highest shirt number I've ever seen. Shay Gervin comes on.
Yeah, a little bit like for like there, going with the stronger body, number 9 there, hoping to hold the play up and maybe bring some others in, or potentially start to use their physical presence to roll the defenders. But in saying that, Percival and Ratowski have managed that really well so far today.
Yeah, defensively as a duo, they've done superbly well. Here's Stella DeMarco. Talking of defenders that have done well, Tenby Crompton. I think they'll be a bit disappointed, Percival and Rutowski, that the goal went in. They couldn't do a lot about it, could they?
No. Yeah, no, they were nowhere near it. It was.
And that's an effort as well, left-footed. Wasn't far away.
Oh. Yeah, no, they'll be disappointed that it looks like potentially they were broken down, but as all defenders will tell you, there's some things that you just can't do anything about, and that one from Merrin is definitely a massive highlight today.
Jay Brown snuck on for Gungahlin United. That was her shot.
Good young player, Jade Brown. She was ACT representative last year at the Under-15s Championship, so somebody who's got a bit of experience and can play a number of positions. And good first involvement from her, and one of the goal scorers in the comeback for Gungahlin in the reserve grade earlier today.
Yeah, I think Atulu's made way. Good afternoon's work for Elka Atulu. And chance for Jay Brown to perhaps get on the score sheet in the last few minutes. If something comes away. It's a bit loose. Chance for Gervin. Good tackle from Rutowski. Brown turns well. Compton's there though. There's Ella Brown playing at fullback at the moment. Loses out to Yippo. Here's Edwards. And she tried to play the ball around the corner to Yippo, but just put too much on it.
Yeah, nice idea though. Maybe need a little bit more whip, but good to see that Yippo is still full of running and trying to peg another one back.
Intercepted by Morinen. Yippo's right there, and she tries her luck from range. A couple of players fancying a shot from distance today.
Well, that goal of the year competition is well and truly on.
And that's the final whistle and the final action, and it was pretty fitting in the end that the ball's at the feet of Maya Rutowski, who's had a great game at the back there with the Gungahlin United defence, and to be honest, it's been something that they set out their stall out early on, and once Ella Brown had scored after only 3 minutes, there seemed to be only one winner, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. We came here expecting a bit more of an arm wrestle, and you're right, once Brown scored that first goal, they started to run away with that, and Gungahlin will be pleased with that, and that secures second place for them for another week, and a really impressive effort, like a very simple game, full of rotation, and a really good team performance overall, which would make everybody happy.
Puts them a point behind Gungahlin United, having played the same amount of games now. 15 points to Gungahlin 16, a couple of points ahead of the Academy, and 4 ahead of Canberra FC, who are playing right at this moment and 3-0 up, so they're looking like they're going to go back into third spot. Thanks again, Matt, for your company. Hopefully we'll have you back on plenty of times before the end of the season. Today here at the AIS, it's been Gungahlin United who it's been all about. A first half hat-trick from Ella Brown, Elka Atulu getting on the score sheet in that first 45 minutes as well. Goals from Erica Pennyfield and Maddie Percival in the second half, sandwiching a spectacular strike from Alicia Moirinen. At the end of the day, though, it's the Gunners and Diego Iglesias' team who have 3 points. They move up to second on the WNPL ladder. Full time at the AIS, Gungahlin United 6, Monaro Panthers 1.